What's up, guys? We got 3/4 of the Stash podcast at Power Morphicon 4. Okay, so what did I here? Turn that off real quick.
Oh, we can talk over this.
So what did I tell you when I talked to you on the phone?
Oh, really?
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
He said you had a surprise for me.
Okay, and then what were the hints?
I needed money for it.
It was you were gonna need cash.
Yeah.
As well as you were. Oh, it would be the color of being angry.
Okay, so red.
Red, correct.
Okay. Alright.
Kawaii! And then the third hint that I didn't tell you because I thought it would give it away would be to make sure your Sunday is open.
Wait.
Do you know what's happening this weekend?
Comic-Con? Or the Morphicon?
Power Morphicon. We're going.
Uh-huh.
So we thought you could tag along if you wanted.
It's $20 to get in.
And Austin St. John is going to be there.
I might have to check my bank account.
So.
I might have to check my bank
Because
account.
it's only $20 to get in, so all
Yeah.
you have to do is...
All I heard was Austin St. John.
Yeah.
This only comes around every 2 years.
Still badass. What's up, guys? We got 3/4 of the Stash podcast. At Power Morphicon 4, hanging out. Got Steve Cardenas over there.
Oh my god, dude.
Got Brad Hawkins. Dog, Power Morphicon in full effect right now. Like,
Dude, is that the Turtlemobile? I'm out.
No!
Let's go.
Oh my god.
hey guys, Moustache here again with the podcast. This time, as you can tell from the intro, about Power Morphicon. So I got the Gorgeous Man, Mega Man, Captain Holiday.
And just to let you guys know, this is our second Super Sentai Power Hour. We're just going to talk nothing about Power Rangers, Power Morphicon, and Eric's obsession with the Red Ranger. First, to take this away, Eric, let's hear your reaction since you're the last one to know and the first one to want to speak out. Go ahead.
When I was first approached about going to Power Morphicon, I didn't know what to think at first. I was really intrigued to go because not only would I see Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger in America, I'd also get to see a bunch of the other Rangers that I always wanted to meet. The Quantum Ranger, Jason Font, the Red Time Force Ranger. I got to see Andros, the Red Space Ranger. Just knowing that a childhood dream could come true. And the first reaction I saw was Gorgeous Man's. I swear he looked like a little giddy little schoolgirl. And then all of a sudden it just finally hit me. I'm like, oh my god, I'm seeing everyone I saw as a little kid just admiring Power Rangers themselves. Andrew, did you want to take it away from here?
Sure, yeah. I'd actually seen the ad for Power Morphicon Saturday and Sunday. You know, just being able to show up and buy it from the box office. Approached Beto, the Gorgeous Man over here, and I was like, dude, we should go. Only $20. It'd be super easy. And he's like, yeah, let's go and not tell Eric. And I was like, I'm down with that. And then, you know, Eric covered a shift for me at my job, so I was like, I'll invite him, you know, be a nice guy. And, you know, it wasn't a bad trip. It was actually a really good trip. The way there was cool. We had somebody in the backseat sleep the whole time, a.k.a. the Gorgeous Man. And then I had somebody talking my ear off the whole time, Mr. Mega Man over here. But no, it was really fun. It was a cool trip. Very, very copacetic.
Captain Holiday, how was it like working that day?
It's fine. It's alright. I wish I could have gone. Honestly, it would have been amazing. But next time we'll plan on something doing that all together for sure, though. Sucks that I had to miss out, though.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to what you're saying about, you know, going back, we're definitely talking about going back. Another thing is that I know at least 3 of us here are talking about, you know, kind of flipping the bill and trying to do like all 3 days, like doing that like Silver Ranger status or whatever they're going to call it next year, to where you're going to have, you know, the breakfast of the Rangers. You're going to be there all 3 days. You're going to be able to like get some of that swag, like the special like con exclusive shirt and stuff like that. So it was definitely a fun thing to do. Bought a whole bunch of like cool stuff, as well as, you know, ended up leaving with a few swag items as well. So let's go over, you know, what Mega Man got.
I got a couple pictures. I got a signature from Steve Cardenas at first, and
The true Red Ranger.
I got a shirt and a card signed by Steve Cardenas, and I gave Beto the card because I knew he liked Steve Cardenas as well. But my pride and joy I got was a signed picture, not only from Austin St. John, but Daniel Coney, one of the big Power Ranger artists and a phenomenal artist in general. But the most surreal part of the whole thing was finally meeting Austin St. John for myself. Andrew himself also met Jason David Frank, so I finally got to feel how he felt meeting his idol when I finally got to talk to Austin.
I did meet Jason and David Frank at Comic Con, not Power MorphCon.
No, I was just.
I know. I got you.
That's a way different feeling though, meeting JDF.
But
though.
you know, if we're talking about if we're talking about the true Red Ranger,
Oh.
you know, like I said before, somebody paused the tape, met the true Red Ranger, Yuta-san Geki, the real Tyranno Ranger. Really cool. It was his first time at Power MorphCon. I don't want to say it was his first time in America. So, you know, to be able to meet him, kind of a first for all of us. I know Gorgeous Man here was also very excited about it. I know Beto and I went in there very hyped to see Power Ranger stuff, but I think maybe we were a little more hyped to see, you know, like Super Sentai stuff. And kind of seeing the stuff there was actually really cool.
What I got from there was an experience of a lifetime. I mean, I walked in there just open-minded, just wondering what the venue was going to look like and how it was supposed to be and the feel of it, because I've never really been to a con other than like little conventions as a kid. So I walked in there, you know, just expecting amazing like features from this place, and I left there seeing some amazing features from that place. It was hands down the best experience I've had in a long time. I mean, it was worth not going into work that day and having somebody cover my shift because my manager decided that she was going to make me work anyways. So, you know, I want to go ahead and throw that in there just because I'm an asshole like that. But no, it's actually it was interesting. I mean,
by the way, she subscribed with us.
Yeah.
By the way, Becky, if you're hearing this, I love you. You don't have to edit that out either. But I was mildly hurt and disappointed, and then luckily I got somebody covering my shift. But anyways, no, I mean, it was different. I mean, for me, I didn't go there with expectations of spending a lot of money because it was a last minute deal, as Mustache had said. We just found out that the last day was going to be $20. Go in. There were still going to be people there. There were still going to be venues. They were going to probably have better deals that day. So, you know, we went in there with an open mind. I didn't take too much cash, and I'm going to be honest, if you're very interested in taking a con trip like this, even if the day is cheap, take enough money or at least save up something, even if you're going to go the last day, because vendors will sell stuff at amazing prices and deals, and you're going to want to leave there with some things, because even the slightest thing you'll see, there'll be something there that you don't expect to be there, and you'll fall in love and have to make a sacrificing choice. As for me, it was like either get something or buy lunch, and I'm sorry, but food for me outweighed a lot of things, so I kept that in perspective. But I mean, honestly, I left with a few things, but I more or less left happy and excited that I got to at least do that once in my life. And if I do get to go back for the next years or 2 years from now when it's back again, I'm even more stoked and more amped to, you know, actually save money and go there with an idea of what I'm going to spend and who it is that I really want to meet, get their autographs and stuff like that for. So, you know, it was just an amazing trip all around.
Yeah, even though it was a Sunday, we did get to do a lot of cool stuff. We still met a lot of cool Rangers. I know Saturday they did show off the new cast of Dino Charge, as well as they kind of said their maybe goodbyes for the Super Mega Force / Mega Force cast, which is really cool. But still, we got to see the Forever Red panel. We got the Sixth Ranger panel. So it was really cool, as well as we get to see, I guess you could call it like the Disney Years panel. So we got to see the stuff for, I want to say it was Mystic Force.
Jungle Fury.
And
SPD. No, SPD wasn't there. It was every season except for RPM and, you know, a couple of the later seasons.
So, yeah, going to what you're saying, it was Jungle Fury.
Dino Thunder. Mystic Force.
As well as
Ninja Storm.
Ninja Storm, yeah.
My favorite one.
So, yeah, it was really cool. And going back to what he was saying about the retailers, yeah, the retailers, like one of them, CS Toys, who I know is a pretty big retailer of the Sentai / you know, Japanese goods, they were actually really cool in being like, their last day, they were like, hey, you know, we need to sell stuff. Yeah, and they knocked down prices a bit. I know some retailers didn't, but it was kind of cool being able to, you know, walk up to either a store that you know or a booth that you know, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're knocking down prices, you know, just for today. And even when we had got there the first time, they were like, giveaway, and they were actually handing out some of the Sentai Judenshis from the Kyuuger series. So I thought that was cool. So we each got one. We had the Bokenger, Gosager, and then the Hurricaneger ones. So that's very cool. As well as we were able to get one of the con exclusive pins, which was kind of like the Gokaiger kind of swords crossed, and that was cool. As well as I think it was Henshin Vault. They were actually selling a similar pin along with the Silver Ranger Anchor pin. So I thought that was cool too. As well as I picked up, some Gokaiger stuff. Was able to find one of the anchors there. As well as picked up from the Die Ranger series, the Red Die Ranger. So I love that. As well as, it was cool being able to just essentially walk up to a Ranger that you saw and just say like, hey, I like your work, or hey, big thing for me was I actually was able to make the Samurai Gold Ranger. I can't think of his name right now. If I'll put a picture up or I'll put his name up. And Samurai was one of the reasons I got back into American Power Rangers, got back into Sentai, or got into Sentai because I wanted to know the history. So for me, that was a really cool thing to meet, as well as I met the Samurai Blue Ranger. So that was cool for me.
For me, I don't want to do a lot of name droppings, but there was an artist I did meet there. His name was Travis Earls. If you do go on Facebook and look him up, it is the art of Travis Earls. Amazing work. I mean, I actually bought a few of his prints. I got a gold art one, which I left there being my favorite print that I got. I got a Green Ranger one and another one. But, I mean, if you guys get a chance and you guys really like different type of artwork, I would suggest going to his Facebook page and liking it. It seems like he's still a new artist and whatnot, and I really want to support this guy because he was really nice at the con when I met him. He was really I added him on Facebook. I shared his page. He was really nice when I commented on his photo. I mean, he seems like an all around good guy, and I really would like to be an enthusiast of him and kind of promote him, just because I mean I appreciate good work when I see it, and I actually really liked a lot of his prints, and there's some that I still want to get, like his Lord Zed is amazing, and there's a chance that I'm going to buy it as soon as I can. But I mean, like Andrew said, it was nice going there and meeting a Power Ranger, and to be honest, they were really cool and really kick back. You hear about most celebrities that kind of act, I guess, like douchey in a way, or they kind of are just really stuck up with their fans. But every Ranger, even if you weren't getting an autograph or if you weren't taking a photo out with them, they were really nice to meet you and guarantee it, just gracious to at least shake your hand and talk to you for a couple of moments as they were going along with their day. I literally met, I think, every Power Ranger and every villain there, and every one of them just showed the greatest amount of hospitality for being there, and they were just really gracious to spend some of their time with you. Like for me, I was really stoked to meet Melody Perkins, which was the villainess of In Space, along with the Pink Ranger, I believe, from Lost Galaxy. So she was Andromeda, Astronema, and Corone. She was actually pretty nice. I was really amped to meet her. I was really stoked when she introduced herself and was like, "What's your name again?" I was like, "Bethel," and she's like, "Bethel? Okay." She's like, "My name's Melody," and she talked to me for a few moments. It was a nice experience, and something that even though, like I said, I left kind of empty-handed, just enough to cover my expenses for the trip and stuff. I mean, I left there with a great view on it and a great aspect that I would want to go back again. But this time, save up a lot of money so I can do everything that I want to do without having any hesitations. Mega Man?
Another actor I was glad I kind of got to meet. It was interesting to meet Blake Foster. He was the Blue Turbo Ranger. I think I was the only one who actually got to shake his hand and talk to him. But he was really down to earth. He talked about how it was interesting for that weekend to be there. He was glad to be back into the whole thing. Just the experience of going from a kid as a Power Ranger to being the adult he is now. It was really interesting to see how he changed and everything. Mustache?
Yeah, definitely. That is something I guess I would take away from this con compared to some of the other cons like WonderCon or Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con. Is that this one is definitely more down to earth. This is something where you can walk up to either people you've looked up to, people you've seen throughout the years, and say, "Hey, I'm Andrew," or "I'm Beto." And I think that's cool. It's something that I feel like this con has maybe over some other cons, because most you got to get into either a really long line, you have to get advance tickets and things like that. So because it was very close knit, it was very easy to get into panels. It was super chill, like I said, to just walk in, pay for our ticket, walk in, get our lanyard, get our badge, and kind of just have a day of it.
I'm gonna let you guys know right now that if you watch panels and you see stuff on YouTube where people just go up there and ask a bad question, and you're kind of like, boo this man off stage. It takes a lot more guts to go up there and talk to these people than you think, because there's a moment there where you get up there and there's a guy that asks you on the side, like, what are you going to ask before you even get up there, because he wants to make sure it's either appropriate and not do like that guy on the news that just runs around and stuff like that. You more or less, you go up there with the mindset of what you want to ask them respectfully about, like, you know, their show, or just sometimes the writers were there. You can talk to them about what they felt about, you know, how it was like bringing the stuff over here and what their experiences were like. So when you get up there, actually, at that point, you begin to realize that everybody's looking at you. All the Rangers that you might have adored at one point, or anybody that you looked up to and at any time in your life, they all stop what they're doing. They wait for you to finish their question. And by the time you realize that you've opened your mouth, you're just like, hopefully I get an answer, because there's just that moment where you're just like, hopefully I don't make an ass of myself right now. And you try to do it in the nicest way, in the most respectful way, to where you get a great answer from them. And I hate to say it, if you see these people on like YouTube that go up there and ask a question and it's a bad question, or they get a really bad answer, trust me, it takes a lot of guts to get up there and talk to these people, especially if you adore them a lot, or if you just looked up to them at any point in your life.
Yeah, going back to what he was saying too, like I'd walked up there and I was just like, the guy's like, what do you want to ask him? And I'm like, well, I want to ask him, you know, maybe what episode from the Super Sentai series they would want to see adapted into the American ones. And he's just like, is that for the writers or the actors? And I'm like, for both. And he's just like, the actors won't know that. There's no point in asking that question. And I was just like, okay. And I like just went and sat back down, and it's kind of discouraging. But then again, like, I feel like maybe he was taking, you know, just a preconceived notion, because you never know, somebody might have watched it and, you know, maybe they are looking for an episode. It could have been the one episode that they had watched.
Yeah, actually, that had happened to me too. But what I had when there was a Forever Red panel, I actually wanted to ask Geki what season of the Super Sentai he would have liked to have brought over before Zoo Ranger, like right around that show had either made it big, or if he could bring back another show from the past over here that he would want translated. Which one would he choose? And the guy told me, he's like, oh, he wouldn't know that. And I was like, dude, there's like 15 seasons before his show. He'll know this. And the guy just looked at me and expected me to get out of line. I just looked at him, smiled, and stayed in line all the way till I got to the front and asked him, which I got a pretty positive response from. But yeah, they kind of shoot you down because they're pressed for time. But the way that the promoters are, I think they kind of just more or less go along with what they assume. And if you kind of stick with it like I did, you can go out there and ask it. But yeah, even the promoter seems a little intimidating, because you could just tell he looks like he's ready to morph and chop you in the face or something. And
then, even though we've talked, I guess, a lot of crap about Mega Man over here and how excited he was to meet ASJ, going back to that, like,
it's all out of love.
It is all out of love, as well as we were equally as excited to just see other people. And for, you know, a lot of people there were very stoked to see Austin St. John, just because, you know, he has been out of the tour circuit and he's barely in it. And for, you know, Mega Man to jump in, you know, Power Morphicon, I think he's only been maybe touring, I think, for the past 4 or 5 months. Mm-hmm. You know, he's still within his first year. So he's kind of, you know, both Mega Man and ASJ are kind of fresh to the scene. So they're kind of, you know, popping their cherries together.
He had one of the largest lines at the con. He actually had his own designated corner pulled off for him in his line. Eric waited the longest to just talk to him for 5 seconds than I did to meet any other Ranger there.
Yeah. And then even when the day ended, you had that time to... You know, and I know a lot of people say about the con too is that, you know, even though they're every 2 years, a lot of these actors actually do live in LA, or they live close to where the con is being held, to where, you know, maybe 2 years down the line you come back and you're just like, oh, hey, you know, I met you like 2 years ago, and they might remember you just from, you know, a nice, like, hey, and a handshake, to where maybe this year, since you brought more money, you'd be able to, you know, take a picture, or maybe do a recording and things like that. So I think that's very cool, as well as I actually got really stoked to see one person that wasn't particularly, like, part of the Power Rangers, like, legacy. I was actually able to meet Sean Long, who's a toy reviewer that I've looked up to for quite a while, as well as someone who actually, you know, pushed me internally to start doing toy reviews. So he was very someone I was not expecting to meet, and when I saw him and met him, took a picture with him, it was very cool. as well as I did meet some other people like Mean Mug. I think it's 357 who is the Black Ranger, and that was very cool. Met Andre from Black Nerd Comedy, as well as we met Bruno and Mia from MMPR Toys. So I thought that was cool being able to walk around the con and meet some of those people to where most of those type of press people would be either behind the ropes or like in their own kind of section of a convention.
Actually, to speak about Sean Lon, we were me and at least the Mustache were very lucky to meet some of the people that we were just caught off guard to meet right away when we had gotten there. Because Sean Lon was right actually when we had walked up into the area before we were even allowed into the convention. He was just in the front, like where they take the press pictures and stuff like that. We actually met him right as soon as we got there, and then as soon as we walked into the convention area, we were looking around, at all the toys while everybody was setting up, and I actually met Jeff Perazzo, who was the white Dino Thunder Ranger. And the minute I was not even paying attention, I was actually looking around at something else, and the Mustache just told me, he's like, "Hey, turn around." And I turned around, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's just like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Jeff." And I was just super stoked at that moment, and especially going to the Disney Power Rangers panel was actually pretty neat too, because I was sitting there and it was the first few seasons all the way up until I believe, like I said, all the way up until, was it RPM, the season where I didn't really care for it on Disney anymore. Yeah. It was the last season after I believe Mystic Force was when I started losing interest again, and then I started again with the Super Sentai series. But yeah, I mean, from the beginning of Disney with the Ninja Storm all the way till Mystic Force, I met like every Ranger there, especially from SPD. I think the only one missing was the Green Ranger, but I had met all of the SPD Rangers. I met one half of the Thunder Rangers, which I wish I could have met the Wind Rangers also. And from Dino Thunder, I at least met the Blue Ranger and the White Ranger. So it was interesting. It was really fun, and I mean, I can't express how much of a good time that I generally had. Like, I felt like a 5-year-old. And I don't know if it was just my inner child taking over at that moment, but it's just, seeing people that you had looked up for such a long time, and then having them there in front of you, and then them not being dicks. Like, when you hear about a lot of celebrities who treat their fans really badly and, blow them off like it's whatever, I go there, and these people are just generally excited to be there, excited to meet the people there. They make the feeling that you get a lot more worthy and exciting and worthwhile, because they just show general interest in everybody that's there and supporting them and supporting what they do and did.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I would have to say, definitely if you get a chance to go next Power Morphicon, which will be Power Morphicon 5 in 2016, definitely go. I think that year is going to be very popular. For one, right that month before Power Morphicon, you have the Power Rangers movie coming out. So, both Comic-Con as well as Power Morphicon are very going to be crazy, with the new movie things coming out as well as new movie toys. One thing I didn't bring up, too, is that they actually had a few people that had the props from the original Power Ranger series. You had Trini's daggers. You had the Astro Mega ships, like storage containers. You had even some of the original, like, Jew Ranger morphers, either the as well as the kind of stunt morpher molds that they had for that. So I thought that was very cool to do as well. They had the SPD section as well. I know I'd seen an interview with the Red SPD Ranger as well, and they actually do a lot of Make-A-Wish stuff there too. And the year previous to Power Morphicon 4, he actually gave his morpher away in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I thought that was kind of cool. You kind of meeting these Rangers as well as, either hearing their stories about when they were on the show, as well as, talking with them face to face. You actually see how, like, I guess how cheesy this sounds, you see how much of a Power Ranger they are.
Yeah, like for, is it Jorgito Vargas Jr.? George Vargas Jr.? I'm just going to go with the Mexican. Jorge Vargas Jr., I guess.
The Blue Ranger?
He was a Blue Ninja Storm Ranger. He had a pretty intense story about when he got the call to actually become a Power Ranger for his casting call, about how he was in the hospital after, like, a serious injury.
It was like, I want to say it was like a skateboarding injury, I think.
Sounded like a skateboarding or dirt bike injury, but he had a pretty interesting story about when he got his call to actually be a part of the show, because he was lying down in the hospital with, he said, like, half of his head shaved because they had to, like, check out his head. Mm-hmm. He had, his back needed to be worked on. He had bypass surgery and all this stuff. And he had talked to the producer of the show, or the director, and he was just like, yeah, well, how fast can your hair grow back? And he offered him the job right then and there, even though he knew that he wasn't in the best shape, and they helped him like get through the recovery a lot faster. So I mean, for him to do all that and then come to the show and then be the Blue Ninja Storm, the Thunder Ninja Storm Ranger, that was pretty sick. I mean, a lot of these people are really, really nice people, despite what media says about a lot of different celebrities. I mean, once I guess you get a one-on-one with them, it's a whole different experience. And just knowing that they don't take their job for granted, and that they're there, knowing that they were entertainers and stuff. I really I got a great vibe from it.
Out of all the panels for you guys, which one was your favorite?
For me, I gotta say it was either like the kind of like Disney seasons. I guess for me it would be more the Disney seasons one, just because that's kind of where Power Ranger had hit its kind of like I guess plateau, and then it kind of fell off for a bit. As well as those were the seasons I kind of watched more. Dino Thunder as well as Ninja Storm. But then at a close second, it would have to be the Sixth Ranger panel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Sixth Ranger one was my favorite just because they didn't get so much screen time as like the original 5, the original 3, or the original 4 or whatever. And just hearing their calls, how they got casted. Like Daniel Southworth, the Quantum Ranger, was a stuntman the entire time for like Power Rangers, and he did other movies here and there. He was also Kenshi on Mortal Kombat Legacy. If you guys haven't seen that webisode yet, check it out. Pretty badass. But he was just talking about how he would audition and then get passed over. And then, he'd just do stunt work here and there. And they're like, oh, you can't act. Next thing you know, they cast him as the Red Quantum Ranger. So just hearing these different stories of how they became Power Rangers or even just the Sixth Ranger were pretty interesting stories. Even for the Quantum Ranger, he just had his part written in. They're like, hey, you tried out enough times. You want this part? Bethel?
Yeah, no, for me, I would say definitely the same probably as Andrew. I really liked the Disney season, I guess, the Disney seasons, because those are the ones that got me back into it. And then in a tight second, it would be the Sixth Ranger panel, just because I guess they seem a little bit more livelier than some of the other Rangers, especially the Quantum Ranger. He was hands down one of the best, I guess, spokespeople at the panels, because he was always willing to engage and answer a question, because he was in that one and the Forever Red, and I think maybe even a couple more, but he was just, the first one to just jump into a question and give it an honest answer, and he was pretty funny, actually. He just seems like one of those guys that if you're just sitting around with your buddies and drinking a beer, that he'd be like one of the cool guys to kick it with. And, it surprised me that they have a good knack of knowledge of video games, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they had asked them a couple of video game questions, they didn't hesitate to, like, answer it with their best, answer. And, like, the Devil May Cry question that the Quantum Ranger got was really well, because he's like, who would win between his Ranger and Virgil? And his first answer was like, dude, he's the son of Sparta. What do you think? I started rolling. I was like, okay, I did not expect that. And same with the Blue Dino Thunder Ranger. He's like, I like sitting around playing my Xbox. So
yeah.
It was pretty interesting seeing that side too, that they're still human and they do normal things, I guess. Eric, do you have anything else to enlighten on?
The Red Ranger panel was pretty fun. Just seeing pretty much, just like you see all the leaders there, and you're just like, wow, that's the SPD Red Ranger. That's the Red Wild Force Ranger. It becomes even more surreal knowing that they enjoyed doing it as much as we enjoyed watching it.
I wanted to ask you guys, since I really wasn't there, what was your favorite theme? As in, it could be anything, like literally items, toys, people that you met, photos, like anything like that. Just your best thing that you guys were there for.
Melody Perkins.
Oh.
She is still, I'm going to tell you, she's still as lovely now as she was watching her as a villain. Exact same way. Yeah, my mind was blown. I was excited to meet her, but somebody I want to give an honorable mention to was Zed. That dude was, for being there, probably the way he was, it's just, he was a happy camper to be there. I actually got to meet him and shake his hand, and he was a really, really nice guy. If you get a chance to meet him, don't be afraid to walk up to him and say hi. He does have an intimidating voice and whatnot, but him and Rita were actually two of the nicest people there, because you look at them on the original Power Rangers being like the most evil villains in the universe, along with even Divatox is there, and then you go up to them and they're just super nice and really friendly. You're just like, wow, you're not that intimidating anymore, but I still respect you for giving me the nightmares and kind of haunting me the way you did, especially with Rita's laugh. I think that used to get to me a lot.
Another thing I really enjoy is not just seeing ASJ, as they keep throwing out there. Just meeting all the other Rangers that I enjoyed, like the Blue SPD Ranger. I really enjoyed watching. In
He was
SPD.
super nice.
He was, dude.
When
He
I
was
walked
really
up to him,
chill.
I didn't even recognize it next to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And he was like, "What's up, bro?" And, like, he just shook my hand.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
very
God,
approachable, dude.
he was oh, dude, he was super nice because like I couldn't even remember his name at the moment. I was like, "Oh my god, dude, it's you!" And he was just like, "Yeah, what's up, bro?" Just like shook my hand. I
Yeah.
was like, "That's awesome." And just walked away. Like I didn't even have to go and shake his hand. He threw it out there and just laid one on me. I was like, "All right, that's pretty sick." So yeah, dude.
They were all very approachable. Well, like he said, the Blue SPD Ranger, Sky in the show, he was really approachable. And then me and Andrew actually got to talk to the Blue Samurai Ranger for a little bit. And he was like, "Hey, how you guys doing? Do you guys have any questions or anything like that?" And we're like, "No, we just really wanted to meet you or whatever." And there was a couple other people with us, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys want to come back with the? Do you guys get a power card or whatever?" And I'm like, "No, we didn't get a power card." So he's like, "Oh, come back over here." He told everyone to come on over, and so he gave us this little card. I think we all ended up getting one. You got one too, Beto, didn't you?
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, we all got little power cards, and it just shows the Red Samurai Ranger and all of them, like I think special abilities and stuff like that. But they are very humble and very, very approachable and just really down to earth people. Like when Beto met the White Dino Ranger, like he was just like, "Hey, what's up, dude? How's it going?" Da 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 da. Or even when I when I met Blake Foster, and then I also met Jason Font when we were leaving. He was just like, "Oh, hey, dude, how'd you enjoy the con? Da da da. Was there anything else you wanted to see and stuff like that?" I was like, "You know what, dude? I've seen everything I wanted to see this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again in 2 years." Mustache.
Yeah, I going back to your first question as far as like favorite moments. Like I told these guys, like meeting Sean Long, even though he wasn't like a Power Ranger kind of person or anything, that was a big deal for me just because of being able to start doing tour reviews and kind of looking up to him. But another thing too is that kind of seeing these two guys when they walked in, like as you can see in the video, just like be like, "Oh my God, Steve Cardenas! Oh my God, is that the Turtlemobile?" Like just seeing people that like you're friends with, and just like to be able to like, "Hey, why don't we go here?" And kind of, I guess, somewhat kind of coordinate it, and then see them just go like, "Oh man," like that feeling was pretty cool for me.
Okay, another thing is the convention center area where, you're going around and getting autographs and all that stuff isn't that big. I mean, it's pretty big, but it's not that big. But we made it like an hour-long trip walking around back and forth, meeting new people, finding new stuff. We kept hitting the same little vendors and finding something different, or they were doing different specials and stuff, to where it was just like, even though it's not the grandest area and it's not the biggest symposium you can imagine, I mean, you had a blast in that little area, and then especially walking out and going to the different panel areas. I mean, it's a whole different experience on a whole other level. I mean, honestly, I think the smile that I had that day, I still have right now thinking back to it. And, it was a great time. I really wish, Captain Holiday could have came. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Maybe next time in 2 more years or something else comes out, definitely we'll be able to all go.
I feel like a bad best friend right now because me and him are always kicking it. Then for this to happen, I feel really bad. But I'm sorry, I put myself in. He had to work, so I'm just gonna go with that excuse for today.
Hey, I had to go to the E3 without you guys, so I still feel.
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
That cleared up a lot of things. He went to
Conscious free.
Conscious free as of right now. He went to E3. But he brought me back something, and I went to this, and I brought him back something. So I feel pretty clean about my conscience right now.
That's a secret for now. What he got him?
Yeah, nobody knows what I got him yet. Later on, he'll probably be on the next podcast talking about it. Hopefully,
He's gonna bring you with him.
he's like, "Beto's an a-hole." That's all he brought me. I just want to throw that out there.
Another thing that I really enjoyed too, Walter Jones. Just talking to him. Me and Andrew actually got to talk to him real quick. Like I've said about everyone, he was probably the second most approachable person besides Daniel Southworth to me.
It was actually funny. I have a funny story to talk with Walter Jones, but it was actually funny because a lot of people would come up to Beto and just be like, "Hey, can you take a picture?" And I was like the designated picture guy, so he'd be like, "I'm really bad with cameras," and like hand it to me. I don't know why I made him sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was just like, "I'm really bad with cameras."
Get to the chopper now.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Every time I've taken a photo up to date, even though I don't like taking selfies or anything, and I do them from time to time anyways, I am really bad with the camera. For some reason, I just never get the right angle or do it, like take the picture to the precise moment that they want it or the way. So usually when it comes to pictures, I'll hand it to somebody else. I do not like taking pictures for other people because whenever it comes down to it, they're like, this thing looks ugly, or like, they're like, can you take it again? I'm really one of those people that if I get stuck in an area for too long, like I don't like shopping unless it's for food or something. I just like to get something done quick and then be out of it as soon as possible. So when people are like, can you take my photo? Hold on, can you take another one? All right, can you take one more, please? I'm like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. And I get not aggravated, but I just get agitated really quick, like being in the same area, doing something like monotonously, I guess. And for me, it's after a certain point, it becomes redundant. I just don't want to do it anymore. So I gave the photo to Andrew because I know he's used to carrying a camera a lot more than I am. So he can get the picture done at least 1 or 2 tries, and then that'd be it.
Going back to what he was saying too, I actually did have a moment like that. Even though I was taking pictures for people, this guy came up to me. I guess he was lone wolfing it at the convention, and he was just like, "Can you take a picture of me in front of the banner?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure," And I take a really good like square photo, no like other banners, in the photo, just him. Probably it was a good maybe knee up photo. And I'm like, how do you like it? Here you go. And he's just like, my feet aren't in it. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I back up. I take the photo again. I'm like, how's this one? And he's just like, yeah, that's cool.
That was when we first got there. I remember that photo.
And then going back to the Walter Jones story, I'm right there because on the wall where Walter Jones was, he was in the middle. It was Austin St. John, Walter Jones, and David Yost. And I actually, I'm looking at his stuff. I'm like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I can't wait to see you, next month or next couple months because he's actually going to be in our hometown at our local convention. And this kind of family walks up and he's like, here, take a picture. Take a picture with me. And they're like, okay. And then the wife or the like mom is just like, can you take a picture? And I was just like, oh, okay, sure, and I take the picture, and she's like, oh, thank you very much, and I was like, yeah, hey, Walter, I took that picture for you, man, that's cool, right? But, no, I didn't really say anything, but it was kind of cool to, at least help the Rangers in a bit. I was maybe that 7th member for a little bit.
Being as corny as this sounds, Zordon was actually the last people that we met as we were getting ready to leave. I can't say his name right now, but it's not coming to mind. We'll just go ahead and throw a picture in, even a profile shot of him if you want to see that too. But yeah, he was one of the last people that we actually met on our way out. And it would have just been so cheesy to ask him because, we were going to drive from Pasadena back to Bakersfield, which is like a 1.5 to 2 hour drive, to just be like, hey, Zordon, we're going to drive about 2 hours. Can you lay down the line on us? And he just turns to us. He's like, may the power protect you. I would have just rolled and be like, yeah. I would have left out there with so much satisfaction with my head up high. But now that I think about it, next time we go and he's there, I'm going to ask him that right before we leave. So that way, on the car ride home, I can just go back to sleep and feel confident in Andrew's driving.
May the power protect you.
It's not like you didn't get home, unsafe.
Andrew didn't sleep that whole night before that.
I got off work at, maybe 3:30, get home about 4, get a solid, maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep, but not really because Captain Holiday had actually gotten me sick on the last podcast. So, I was okay, and we go to pick up the gorgeous man over here, and we're just like, hey, bro, you ready? And he's like, I just woke up. So, literally, 2 minutes on the road, and this dude is already knocked out. He only wakes up to go, Hey, do you guys have headphones? You have headphones I can use? Because I guess our music wasn't soothing enough for him.
It wasn't the music. It was Eric laughing every 5 seconds. I was like, I'm trying to sleep, but Eric keeps laughing like a hyena. He's like, and I was like, I gotta sleep. I was like, if I'm trying to be functioning at this con, I was like, I at least need 20 minutes of a power nap. So I was like, can I borrow your headphones? For the first literally 30 minutes, I wasn't listening to anything. I used them just to plug out the noise and make sure that my ears didn't pop and bug me. And then finally, when we hit a certain, I think, a speed bump, I woke up and I was like, all right, time for music. And I put them on, but yeah, it was an interesting trip. Nonetheless, being in the backseat, crashed out.
I actually wanted to have a small shout out to somebody that I met at the con. I was actually kind of looking at some of the loose toys around, and this guy comes up to me and he's just like, hey, bro, hey, remember me? Remember me, bro, from yesterday? And I'm just like, I wasn't here yesterday. And he's just like,
Kings, bro.
He's like, your hat ducks, man. Kings, bro. Kings. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, man. Kings, man. And he's just like, oh, we got you this year. We got you. And like, this conversation went on for like way too long. And I was able to pass him off on the Mega Man over here.
Damn,
and I kind of dipped. And then me and the Gorgeous Man are sitting down waiting for Mega Man to meet ASJ. And out of nowhere, he's just like, hey, I just ran into the Ducks guy. And I was just like, oh, hey, man, what's up? And he's just like, yeah, guess what? I just saw Philadelphia Flyers guy. What's up with that? And I was just like, oh, yeah.
When I first saw this guy walk up to Andrew and start talking to him, I saw uncomfortability just flow right over Andrew. And then when this fool passed him on, he's like, oh, so you're an Angels fan. And he's like, no, that's my friend Eric. And then as soon as he said that, slipped right behind me and walked away. He's like, oh, Dodger fan, dude. Hey, I don't care, dude. Get away from me. I'm sitting there looking at these little action figures they had laid out on the table. And I'm just, going around them. And this guy's still talking. And I was like, all right, dude. Catch you later. Started to walk away.
You see, I don't know who's the most douchiest out of all of us, because at least Andrew sat there and kind of like talked to the guy. You were straight out trying to pass him off, and luckily for me, I hadn't even gotten into the conversation, and luckily I didn't even know he had said he was a King fan, because my ass would have been like, oh, I'm a Kings fan too. So I was actually at another booth, and I walk up, and you guys are just, Andrew's being so nonchalant about it, just engaging with the guy, talking to him. I honestly thought he might have been subscribed to Andrew or subscribed to the podcast. So I was like, oh, okay, he's meeting one of the fans. He probably doesn't know who me and Eric are. So I kind of kicked back. But then I see him start talking to Eric, and a part of me is just like, what, he doesn't like the Gorgeous Man? And so I just left it alone. I was like, you know what? Fine. He don't like me. I'm going to walk over here. I turned around and I walked away with that.
On another note, I did continue a conversation with him for a little bit, but I already had enough of him from Andrew just listening to him.
Going back to that, what the Gorgeous Man said, I totally agreed. He tapped me on the shoulder and was just like, hey, bro, what's up? And I was just like, hey, man. Because I didn't know if he was like, hey, I saw your Power Ranger figure review, you know what I mean? And he didn't say anything, so I wasn't sure yet. And then he was just like, I remember you from yesterday. And I was just like, wrong guy. But nonetheless, it's always good to, I guess, talk to a fellow fan, because it's cool to kind of be in the community a bit.
Just to let you know, I'm the jealous type, because as soon as he didn't want to talk to me, I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll take my company somewhere else then.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I know. I looked over and I was like, Melody Perkins.
But overall, it was a very great trip. Again, we say wish Captain Holiday could have joined.
Hopefully next time he does come.
For real. One last question before we probably close this off. What were you hoping to see there that you didn't get to see?
Or was there something question too? But
was there something you guys wanted to see? Because there was one thing I wanted to see that I didn't get to.
Normally when I get nervous in front of a large amount of people, especially like I was there meeting all my heroes, I tend to think of people naked. And this time I just saw everybody in their Ranger outfits, and it made it even more hard for me to talk to them. That's what I do. I'll get in front of a large group of people, especially when I'm super busy. I just imagine half the customers naked. It makes me feel a lot better because I feel like I'm a little bit in better shape than they are, and I'm like, woo! Or like some of them just look super creepy, and I'm just like, woo! I can imagine this guy, just wearing nothing but a G-string backwards. And this time it was just the thing that I didn't get to meet was just a few of the Power Rangers. Some of the ones that were just not there. I actually wanted to meet both the Thunder Raiders. Had they had both been there, I probably would have blown all my money in the first 10 minutes getting a picture with both of them. Especially if some of them were in outfit, I think more that would have been cool too. But just because they're sitting there all day and they're meeting all these people, that would kind of get strenuous having that spandex on all day, I guess.
Yeah.
So that would be cool too. But I think it was just the couple Rangers that weren't there that I wish I could have met. Like I said, the Crimson Thunder Ranger, which is hands down one of my favorite Rangers. JDF wasn't there. The other, like I said, the Wind Rangers. I wish I could have met them. the Green Ranger was actually, besides the Blue Ranger and from SPD, he was one of my favorite ones. And, just like the couple people that weren't there, especially my favorite Power Ranger of all time, Noah from Super Mega Force. Which is, I don't want to be honest when I say this. And I hate to say this because I've never, I've watched a lot of seasons. I've watched different actors, and for some reason, I just cannot stand Noah. He's just one of those people that, as an actor, I guess I can say I don't like him. Not that he doesn't try, and not that they didn't give him a good backstory. It's just that when I watch him, I get a little bit annoyed, and I lose interest in the show immediately. But I don't know. I think he has more personality than the Red Ranger does for that TV show, because he sits there just like wants to break character at certain points, but then does it because he has to be serious, I guess.
Going back to what the Gorgeous Man had said, he actually has like a sour face for Noah just because he was so into the Blue Ranger for Gokaiger, and that story kind of got passed off in Megaforce, and kind of, not so much passed by the wayside, but it wasn't as intense as it was in Gokaiger.
Where it's, if you watch Gokaiger, everybody gets a good backstory, because they like we said about that show before, everybody gets a good 50 episodes. Every season gets like 50 to 60 episodes, because it's a little bit more prominent over there than it is here, because I guess their attention span's a lot more. So it's like a telenovela to them. And when you watch all these different characters, they give great backstories to them. I mean, there'd be certain Rangers that you might have seen in the American runs that you didn't care for them, that if you watch the Japanese one, you might like them a lot more, because there's more story embellished on it. And, for the Blue Ranger and Gokaiger, he's in, like, top lead along with the Red Ranger, who are, like, my favorite Rangers from that season. I know for Andrew, it's the Green Ranger and the Silver Ranger. And if you see, like, even the variations, I just saw how the Silver Ranger got his Morpher in Super Mega Force just recently, and how it was, like, his character, the team and the character from Super Mega Force is exactly the 100% opposite of Gokaiger, where as the Silver Ranger's the alien and the rest of them from Earth, it's the exact opposite in Gokaiger, where all of them are from outer space and the Silver Ranger's from Earth. So the whole story is just completely flipped on itself. And so for me, I mean, like, yeah, I don't care for him, and I hate to say it, but he's hands down one of my least favorite Power Rangers to date.
There's two things I really wished, or two or three things I really wanted to meet. I really wanted to meet, she's still one of my favorite female Rangers, Serena Vincent. I know it sounds like a surprise. People think I'd say Amy Jo Johnson. Serena Vincent from Lost Galaxy.
Ashley Jo Johnson.
Ashley Jo Johnson. According to Beth, though, Ashley Jo Johnson.
Like I said, I was trying not to get hit or get a ticket in LA, because I am not going back there for court. I'm sorry.
But like I was saying, Serena Vincent was the yellow Wild Force Ranger. Lost Galaxy, excuse me. I always thought she was so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Another one that I really wish I could have met. So much. I really wish I could have actually met the Magnum Defender, the Silver Space Ranger, because I really enjoyed the Silver Space Ranger story from Power Rangers in Space. Just how him and Andros were like best friends, and then he got hurt badly, put him cryogenically frozen, and then all of a sudden he thaws out, and he's just spectacular badass. Mustache.
I guess one of the things I kind of wished I would have done, he was there Saturday, wasn't there Sunday, would probably be the Red Samurai Ranger, because like I said earlier in the video, like Samurai got me back into the season. I'm busting up. I'll post a picture of why. But I wish I would have been able to see him. But I did meet the other Samurai Rangers, as well as I guess it would have been cool to see the other. I guess it would have been cool to see the Megaforce cast. Not so much red or blue, but like maybe silver, green/black, or pink and yellow. So that would have been cool. As well as I know they did show off the Dino Charge cast. So that would have been cool to meet kind of the cast that's coming up as well. And one thing I wanted to note as well is that they actually have, since people are cosplaying so much at the convention, you have a lot of opportunities to take pictures with, special teams, to where, like, they had Super Mega Force / Gokaiger team, they had the Hurricanegers / Ninja Storm team, they had the Mystic Force / Maji Rangers, as well as we ran into I think it's a Jetman, as well as we ran into a Boscow from Gokaiger.
The best cosplayers of the day, of my heart, Bosco and Sally. And I hope you put that picture up because when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, this is the A+ team right here. I was like, you know what? I want to shake both their hands, give them a coconut, give them a coconut handshake and a hug. But that Bosco was amazing, and it took the guy 2 weeks to do that.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gotten some of his Facebook information, or if he happens to come across this podcast to add us because for honorable mention, because he took a lot of time in that work. Even the guy who did the Green Ranger, the Green Sea Ranger.
Burai?
Yeah, Burai.
The Burai version of the Green Ranger. His was very cool, yeah.
There was a lot of people dressed up as the actual Sentai, and had you not watched the show, like when you saw I-Man,
yeah,
and then the 50 different Captain Marvelouses.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watched the Super Sentai series, you would have, if you hadn't seen it, you would have overpassed them and been like, okay, somebody different here. But if you watched the Super Sentai, you looked at him and you're like, oh, dude. And like, for me, when I saw the guy dressed as Bosco, he didn't even have the mask on. I looked at his arm, I was like, dude, that's Bosco right there. And I looked at it, I was like, dude, that's Bosco. And I saw his helmet, I was like, I want a picture. Like,
and I felt like
I
felt like those people who were cosplaying as the Super Sentai characters maybe felt like a little cooler, like when somebody noticed them like as their Japanese counterpart instead of like the American.
Yeah.
To where like, especially Bosco, I know like when we saw my you were like, oh Bosco, like, can we take a picture? And he was actually in line to take a picture with Geki, and he was like, sure, just a sec. And he actually when he was done, he was actually looking for us, like, oh hey, where are you guys, and we were able to take the picture, especially Sally here, that was a really great one. And
A+ team,
best cosplay of the show, A+, all the awards.
For a super mega win.
That was definitely a super mega win. As well as fuck. Yeah, so like I was saying, the Japanese kind of cosplay counterparts, I felt like they were a little more amped whenever you saw a picture. Or
you should definitely put that in there. You like Andrew.
So like I said, the cosplays were great. I will end up probably putting the picture that's making everybody kind of giggle around the podcast. But overall, the con was great. If you get a chance, check out the video. I kind of did like a small little panel video, as well as some of our testimonials or whatever. Again, definitely would go the next time.
Maybe if you guys want to see anything for the one that's coming up here in Bakersfield, maybe if you guys have any requests, maybe you guys want to see, we'll try to take pictures, videos, anything like that. Definitely, comment if you guys want to see us do anything. We'll try to do that. Especially, I know Mustache here will definitely make that happen.
Yeah, definitely gonna see Walter Jones at the Bakersfield Comic-Con.
Woo!
So definitely, maybe even get a video shout out for the channel or something.
Yeah, or if you guys have questions for him, maybe we'll ask it for you guys if it's a really good one. So if you guys have any questions for us, for them, anything like that, let us know.
In time, I think these podcasts are going to get a lot better. We're trying to get to switching to actually having us being recorded, so you guys can actually see us. We're just still trying to get everything kinked out where we can take everything in one, like at least 1 or 2 takes without having to do major editing. Because right now, these are still being developed. We're still trying to get our flow going. And, in time, I think this is going to get greater. So hopefully by the time that the Bakersfield convention comes and we go and do that one, by then you might already have a sense of what we look like and what our podcasts are more or less like being filmed. I mean, the intro to this one is pretty amazing, which is the stuff that we got from the con itself. If you look at me, like that smile you see, it's pretty much the same thing you'll see all day. And probably if we do these things live, if we're playing video games or something, you'll probably see more of that because I'm really competitive. I don't like stop laughing or smiling unless there's something that makes me stop, which is usually Eric. But whenever he gets super competitive and just like throws a fit, that's the only time you ever see me stop laughing and get like, hey bro, calm down, just a video game. And besides that, I mean, if there's anything that you want us to take pictures of, anything you want us to see, if you are going to the convention and you want us to stop by your booth and give you a shout out, I mean, we have no problem going there and promoting or anything. Like I said, like I wanted to promote the artist today just because I was really impressed with a lot of his work. There were other great artists there. That just happened to be the one that catch my attention. But I know the one that Andrew and them had already been subscribed to on Facebook. It was pretty nice meeting him too. And we're all about supporting local and going to different things like that, different little events. That one, like we said, was just happened to be spur of the moment. We were just, let's go. We just jumped in the car and took off. So, you know, if there's anything you want to ask us, anything you want us to do, go ahead and feel free to ask or just leave it in the comment box. Mega Man?
Most likely, after when Andrew is done editing this podcast, we'll have pictures up of some of the stuff we've gotten, like my picture and some of Andrew's stuff. Beto's card that he got signed as well, maybe my t-shirts and stuff like that. So I'm sure you guys are looking forward to most of the stuff that we got, because it's a lot of interesting things that we ended up getting. Andrew actually got a Die Ranger from the Sentai series, so that actually looks really nice the way he set it up as well.
Yeah, I'll probably take a picture of how that's set up. I have it on one on my phone actually, as well as probably through the whole podcast you'll be seeing our photos. Like I said, check out the video. That's pretty much it for our podcast. Maybe we'll do a separate video, maybe an intro to each of us. You kind of know me already from my other videos, but we'll introduce the rest of the cast here. But for the most part, we're good. We got Mustache, Mega Man, the Gorgeous Man, as well as the sadly left out for the convention, but none less important, Captain Holiday here. So, in the comments, go ahead and comment with maybe what you would like to see if you ever went to a Power Rangers convention, or which Power Ranger you would like to meet. And definitely subscribe if you like the podcast or the videos.
Like, add, and share.
Definitely. So, peace.
Peace out, guys.
Later, guys.
Later, you guys.